Today, we're going to be talking about commitment phobia in business and what it is costing you and those you love. Hi, I'm Lillian Pearson, and I am a business coach to tech entrepreneurs and aspiring tech entrepreneurs. So today's topic is really near and dear to my heart because I have struggled with it a lot in my business, and I see other people struggling with it all the time. And so I wanted to just step up and try and reach out and help people with topics related to commitment phobia. So everything that I say today is said in love and said out of my actual experience and things that I have struggled with in my business over the last 7 years that I have been growing it. Okay. First, before going into what commitment phobia in business actually looks like, let's talk about what it's costing you. So commitment phobia in business, lack of commitment to your business, definitely contributes to low profit margins and lack of progress, but it also causes you to be working all the time. So if you're working more than 40 hours a week, ironically, you may have commitment phobia in your business, going on in your business, which sounds really weird, but I will explain to you why that's the case in a minute. If you're sacrificing your health, or you're sacrificing time with your loved ones, with your significant other, with your spouse, with your children. If you're not able to show up and be available to them in their lives, or maybe you are making time for them, but then you aren't emotionally and mentally present during those times, like you don't have the boundaries between your work and your family life and your personal life, then that would also be something that's indicative of lack of commitment in your business. And I know this all sounds very strange, but I'll explain how it all works in a minute. Not taking care of ourselves, running ourselves into the ground, not being able to show up as our best selves in our business, all of this reflects a lack of commitment. And also not having that extra money to spend on our families, like experiences or splurges. That's also one of the consequences of lack of commitment in your business. So let's look at here. I'm going to give you 3 ways to tell if you are suffering from lack of commitment in your business, and then actually what you can do about them. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was dabbling, okay? And a lot of us techies, we love to dabble in all sorts of fun things, but that is a total killer in terms of pushing your business forward and scaling your revenues and stuff like that. So what does dabbling look like? Dabbling looks like stringing along a bunch of pet projects that aren't actually profitable or have a very low profit margin, not having any major revenue earners, and also then not having any major stressors, okay? So why we do this generally is that, well, a lot of times, making a commitment in your business means that you have a lot on the line, and that's friggin' stressful. So there's that. But then there's also the fact that when you're new, you don't actually know what you're doing in your business, so you don't know what to commit to. So you're just testing out a bunch of things and seeing what works, which is kind of like reinventing the wheel in a business. Like trial and error approach is not the best way to build a business. Also, maybe you don't have the support and accountability in place. So it really helps to have another person, at least an accountability partner, to hold you true to your vision and just to support you, especially if you can get a business coach, like a one-on-one. That's an amazing asset for helping you just move forward on your commitments. Now, the last reason why we do this is because there is this false notion that busyness, if we stay busy and we keep quote unquote working hard, basically making ourselves feel, overworked and stressed out, that we're going to somehow miraculously get money. Like that busyness equates to money, but that is actually not the truth. If you look at the, people with the most money in the world, most of them are not working that hard. So like that is a false notion. So let's look at what is the solution to dabbling. The solution to dabbling, number one, starts with market research and then business idea validation. Now, market research and validation are basically going to help you really firm in on what you're actually doing in your business and who you serve, so then you can make that solid commitment. Okay, so now if you want more guidance from me about market research and business idea validation, I have been covering these topics over the last several days in this live stream series, so you can just go check those out. They're available in the Tech Entrepreneur Collective and on Instagram. Okay, now let's look at the second culprit for lack of commitment in your business. That would be trying to do it all yourself. This is also a killer. I'm saying this all with love because I have done it all, right? So doing it yourself in business is a very surefire way to make little to no progress over a long period of time, okay? So you don't want to be doing it yourself. What this looks like is, not that I know anything about it, but maybe spending 9 months building out a coding course. And then after you've built this whole monstrosity, take a free webinar to try and figure out how to sell it, okay? I did that with an R course. That is absolutely the wrong way of going about things. But at that time, I was not investing in my business. And I thought that, oh, if I just build this coding course, somehow it's going to be great. Another way you could tell if you are trying to do it all yourself is if you are doing $10 per hour work. If you are doing work that you could pay someone $10 an hour to do, you're trying to do it all yourself. And it's really bad for you and your business and your family and loved ones. Now, if you are a STEM grad and you have tech skills from a developing nation, from a Western country, then, you should be easily able to sell your services for $150 an hour. I push my coaching clients to sell their services at $300 an hour, right? So you cannot be doing the $10 per hour work with $300 per hour time. That is actually lack of commitment in your business. And let me explain why people do this and what the solution is. So people do this because they are afraid. One, afraid to spend money. The other, afraid control. So at least if you're doing it yourself, you have an aspect of control here. However, we cannot be experts of everything. And so usually we're not going to be able, no matter how smart we are, we're not going to be able to do as well as someone who that's what they specialize in, right? But people do it because they like the sense of control. Also, they're not sure how to delegate the work. Especially with tech where everything is so complex, I do remember it feeling like, wow, how would I ever be able to give this to someone else who isn't a fellow expert? I'm going to explain to you how you fix this problem in a minute. But a third reason why you would do this is if you don't know exactly what to sell, then, okay, no, sorry, I have notes here, but you're not sure if what you're working on will actually sell, right? Because if you knew that what you're working on is going to sell and you knew how much profit is going to bring in, then you would probably hire help, right? So that kind of uncertainty if we're going to make money on this project in the future is a driver to keeping people doing $10 an hour work for $300 an hour time, right? They're just not sure. So here are some solutions to this do-it-yourselfer problem. One is if you're coming out with a training program, a course, any sort of subscription service, like a subscription program, just do pre-sales, pre-sell your program and make sure to validate that you have the market, you have the audience, validate that before actually committing all of your time. So then you know how much revenue you're going to bring in, and then you can easily kind of start delegating out the lower priced work. Another way to stop doing it yourself is to increase your rates. So if you are, now if you're charging $25 an hour, which I actually did when I first quit my day job, it's really hard to bring people in to support you at that rate, right? But if you increase your rates to say $150 an hour, then you have a little bit of wiggle room to start bringing in people to support you in your business. And maybe this kind of, if you're unsure and you feel like you're just doing it all yourself, I've seen some people, I have a coaching client now. She has kept her day job and she's actually hired people to implement our program and build her business for her while she keeps her day job. So she has that stable revenue to support her family, but then she still gets to build this business so that she has a comfortable base when she does quit that day job, right? So you could do something like that, or you could get like a part-time gig. I've seen some entrepreneurs do that where they kind of like just get through the hard times that way. And in terms of like not knowing how to delegate out your tech work, so I could do a whole like course on this, but we'll just cover it quickly. What you need to do is start itemizing your tasks and figuring out, okay, here are what tasks I do. And then figuring out which of those do you actually need to do, that they require subject matter expertise, and which can you give to someone else that can work at a lower rate. Also, you need to then build processes to help streamline those and make those repeatable in your business so you can keep that support flowing on the long-term basis. Okay, so the last culprit with lack of commitment in business is not investing. So this is where I'm going to share a story from my own business that kind of makes me sad and is kind of embarrassing, and I've never shared publicly. Okay, so what not investing looks like. Not taking that signature program and instead buying a cheaper substitute. Let me explain. So around the time that I came out with that R course I just described to you, there was a program I saw about like how to build courses, and the doors were closed, but I figured since they opened and closed the doors, definitely wasn't going to be a $10 Udemy course, and it would probably be a few $1,000s. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to pay that, even though I had $50,000 in the bank. I wasn't spending it because I was afraid of spending money. So I didn't do that, and instead I built out the course, and then I ended up buying a lesser substitute. So I bought a course from Amy Porterfield on email marketing. And yes, it was helpful, but it didn't actually do the trick. Okay, so what actually ended up happening is I ended up making friends with a woman in the data space named Miko Yuk, who did take that course. And she did build out her signature program based on what she learned in that high-end program. And in the same time, so this was back in 2014, well, I was sitting there trying to figure it all out myself, afraid to invest, building the course myself, doing it all. She built the course, brought in all the support, and scaled to 7 figures. So she's got a 7-figure business now in the data space. And it all started from that course, which she learned how to build because she invested in that program, right? So I'm happy with my business. I love how it works. I get to work from wherever. We have multiple 6 figures. I have time for my family. I love it, right? But I kind of kicked myself in the butt that, I was at that same crossroad as her, and I could have made that same decision and been further along. But I chose to try and figure it all out myself for a longer period of time. So why do we make decisions like this? Well, we are not sure. Like in this case, I wasn't sure that program would actually work for me. I just wasn't sure if it applied to what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was doing, basically, in terms of like my business offers and like even the business mission. I had none of that clear, right? So it was investing a few $1,000s was kind of scary. And then I was just afraid to spend money, which was silly because I actually had it and I had money coming in. So I was just not used to spending money. Now I'm going to give you a solution, and I'm actually going to give you another story because you got to be very selective when you do decide to invest. So I have also, once I got such great results with investing in different programs to learn how to build and scale my business, I just started went along and I ended up purchasing a program from one woman who was a $5,000 program, and I totally just bought into her marketing. which was very effective. And I didn't take any time to like vet her or like check out like her clients or, you know, I just was like, okay, it's got to be awesome. So I just spent $5,000 and like this thing was the biggest POS, right? So if you don't know what that is, it's piece of crap, basically. And I couldn't get my money back because most programs are no refunds, right? So what I want you to do is if you do decide to invest in a program to help you build and scale your business, you do want to do that homework. Go and check out the testimonials and also go ahead and check out like what type of clients they have. Like, so, you know, if the clients are mostly holistic healers or like tarot card readers, then that coach might not be the best one for you if you're trying to build a tech business, right? So you got to like look at the type of clients they're supporting, what kind of results those clients are getting. And then the last thing to do would be to look at like, check out their freebies and like their free, you know, their free offers, their low end offers, you know, and any sorts of like anything you can get from them for free to like check out quality. Do they really know what they're talking about? And also, are they really committed to the best interest of their clients and their audience? Because that will tell you a lot. Okay. And then one more way that you can move forward in terms of the fear of investing in your business. What I do is I find badasses. Like I have one person in particular, and she's kind of like, I follow her, and I mean that, like, yes, I bought her program, which I was happy with, but I see what business program she is in, and then I take those, I talk to her about those, and then I enroll in them. And that is like it's been so great for me to actually just kind of follow her. And then the program she does, I do some of those, and they always end up to be a great decision. So at least try and get like some referral, or like you can follow someone who is a little ahead of you. However, the same person actually's profit margin is a lot lower than mine. So like, I really respect her, but our businesses are different, and it's really nice to be in tech because it is easier to have a high profit margin business. So that's good. Okay. All right, so we have come to the end of today's session, and I want to encourage you to show up again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I am doing these live sessions every day, and I also wanted to just let you know that tomorrow, oh yeah, this one's going to be juicy. We're talking about social media and mental health, and how spending a lot of time on spending a crazy amount of time on social media is not the plan for a scalable business. So we're going to talk all about this, and basically how you can make your investment in time and social media really work for you, and kind of get out of the crazy making popularity game. So that will be tomorrow, Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And then hopefully I'll see you then. Until then, have a great weekend. Also, please leave your questions or comments in the comments or in my DMs if you're on Instagram or Twitter. Leave me any questions and comments you have, because I'm taking those as topics for future go lives. All right, thank you.